Good evening and welcome to the Region Sports Network wrap-up show here in the Sentier Bank Studios. I'm Mike Jamia. Joining me is Mike Dewan. Mike, how you doing?
Mike and Mike show after dark. We're ready to have some fun. A lot of great football here tonight, and it's always a good one here to wrap it up with you.
Absolutely, and likewise. So we'll get right into this one. Andrean, they travel on the road to play the Kankakee Valley Cougars with a K, and they come away victorious 28-7.
Two teams that, again, the NCC, two teams in our top 10, but two teams, again, conference starting this week. Andrean, the 10th rated team in our Enigenberg top 10 list, and Kankakee Valley, our 5th ranked team in that top 10 list. And Andrean, this was a team that they've had a lot of success against Kankakee Valley. I mentioned they haven't beaten, KV has not beaten Andrean since 2012, and Andrean shows again tonight after the heartbreaking loss to Valparaiso last week. A big-time first win for Andrean to get the NCC going for them. And, I mean, they're a team, again, once the NCC kind of wraps up in October, it's a little bit open. Again, Hanover, they're going to be the favorite, and we're going to talk about what they did tonight. Hobart, we're kind of trying to still find their identity. They had a great first win tonight. But then after that, I mean, Lowell as well is still a team we're kind of on the fence about. But Andrean, they could be kind of playing second fiddle potentially. When they play Hanover later in the season, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it should be. And Andrean, after a tough schedule to start the year in the first 2 weeks,
easy.
Yeah, they go against a team they're familiar with, and playing and having success against them, and they do just that. The Boone Grove Wolves, they travel to Gary Westside to play the Cougars in a low-scoring affair. The final was 8-6 in favor of the Westside Cougars.
A little bit of a baseball score, but a huge win there for Westside. Boone Grove is kind of a bubble team as well as Westside. They're probably our first team out of that top 10 list, and Westside, they're going to be knocking on the door pretty soon. I'd say not maybe the high-scoring affair they'd want. Boone Grove is an offense where they score a lot of points last year, and they got a great quarterback in Mark Rowland, but Westside, they got some guys offensively as well as defensively to hold that Boone Grove high-potent offense to 6 points. Westside, I know they play River Forest next week, a team who's looking to bounce back, but that's going to be a good one. But Westside, they could really crack our Enigenberg top 10, home improvement top 10 next week. But they're looking good. Again, 8-6, maybe not the typical score you want to see in a football game, but they got the job done, and now they're undefeated 3-0.
We see we go to a game with another 8 in the box score, and the Calumet Warriors defeat the East Chicago Central Cardinals 36-8. See Justin Cole giving a big fist pump there for Calumet and the Warriors.
Big Calumet Warrior win there. Shout out big Justin Cole, who's producing here tonight as well. But the big win for them, Coach Salary again in his second year, trying to get his guys right, kind of make things go better for that program. East Chicago Central still looking to get things back on track. It's not going to be easy, and there's kind of different stages of the rebuild between these two programs. Calumet obviously in the better position right now than East Chicago Central, but it's an optimistic future for both teams nonetheless.
And our next game is the 1-2 matchup, the big game that everyone was talking about this week. I was on play-by-play for this game, so I just got here not moments ago from Maryville, where the Maryville Pirates fell to the Crown Point Bulldogs 46-13 between a 1 and a 2. We'll talk a little bit more about this game when we get to the meat of the matter, which comes later, brought to you by Better Beef. And so, but yeah, Crown Point wins big in this one. They, really dominated the second quarter, and they hung up a crazy crooked number in the second. They went like 27 points unanswered, and they didn't look back after that. So we'll get more into that one a little bit later.
No doubt about it. We had same aspirations going into this game last year, and it was at Crown Point, 1v2 in our rankings. I remember vividly. I was sitting in this seat with our old-time friend Jack Thiel talking about this game. Game of the year aspirations. And, again, Crown Point, they did the same thing they did last year. They stomped them out. I mean, this is a Crown Point team. Again, I'm running out of things to say because they're just fantastic every week. Maryville is a great football team, and they're going to go far in the playoffs. Their floor seems to always be a sectional championship, maybe even a regional championship. But tonight was Crown Point's night, and they did just that. But as you mentioned, we're going to go back. I want to spin it back to you. Mm-hmm. You were on the play-by-play tonight. Again, we're going to talk about the meat of the matter of this game, sponsored by our friends at Better Beef of Indiana. Mike, talk to me about what you saw tonight, because obviously this was a big-time performance from Crown Point. Obviously probably a pretty packed house, a pretty fun environment. But Maryville, I mean, that's a tough place to play for any team, and they did their job tonight. Yeah, no,
Demery Stadium was packed. I mean, on the home side, Maryville brought everybody. Crown Point, they brought a pretty good contingent. from as far as they traveled, I thought that it could have been bigger, and that's no disrespect to the Crown Point fans by any means. It's just, what we saw when we were there. What we also saw was that Crown Point can beat you in a number of ways. So Ellison, to start the game, it seemed like he kind of got off to a slow start, so to speak. But then again, even last week, he kind of got bottled up a few times, but he's always a big play that's waiting to happen. And so that's what the story was with Ellison. Ehrlich looked amazing. The sophisticated offense that Craig Bazia is running over on Crown Point is really a sight to behold. There's a lot of motion. There's a lot of, misdirection.
It's a next level offense, to say the least.
Yeah, they do a lot of play action, some RPO stuff too. They really beat you in many different ways, and they have the talent to do it as well. Lucas Zimborski was awesome in this one on both sides of the ball, but Trevor Gibbs. Trevor Gibbs had a monster game in this one. Not only did he score 3 touchdowns, but he could have also had a pick 6. He ran it back to the 5 and just absolutely leveled a kid that was trying to stop him from getting into the end zone. I mean, credit to the kid, he did, right? But the meat of the matter, really, in my opinion, with this is that we see that Crown Point is the cream of the crop in the entire state. And this early in the season, it seems like they're so far ahead of everyone else. And I really wish this game was played in week 7, 8, or 9 as opposed to week 3. Because to me, you look at this game and you look at what Maryville, what their play sheet looked like, right? Like what their calls were, what did they go to? That's all going to change in 5 weeks.
Sure.
It's all going to change in 3, 4 weeks. It's going to change when they decide who their quarterback is. Mind you, they don't know who their quarterback 1 is yet.
Which is a killer.
And so to have this, this lack of an identity, so to speak, to have this, to not be solidified at every position, and then to play Crown Point, it doesn't matter where you play them. You can play them on Mars. It's going to be a similar result because Crown Point is solidified at every position. They're humming. And I'm not saying that if Maryville plays them in week 7, 8, or 9, that it's an entirely different game. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying is that if Maryville plays them when they have their team all dialed in and their play sheet has evolved to the point where they know, like, they found that this is what works for them, then it could be a much different game.
Sure.
So to me, the meat of the matter is these are just 2 teams on 2 different levels right now, and they're in 2 different places. At the end of the year, I think that disparity shrinkens, and I think that it shrinks, and I think that you'll see that Maryville is going to make another deep run, and so is Crown Point, and Maryville's in 5A and Crown Point's in 6A. So these 2 teams will both have success. But to me, that was the meat of the matter in this one.
Definitely well said. Again, the meat of the matter presented by Better Beef of Indiana. Well said. Completely Crown Point, a deep team as they always seem to be, and they got the guys on offense, defense. Trevor Gibbs especially. Again, I talked with Coach Buzz in the offseason, we on that 100-yard interview, and he said off the air. I mean, he said this. I asked him about Gibbs, one of those sophomore starters that is coming back on the defense, and he said to me, he may be one of the best players to put on a Crown Point jersey, and that is big praise from Coach Bouzier, and he's showing it here tonight. I want to give a special shout-out again with you being there doing the play-by-play. Doug Ashenball on color, he did a fantastic job as always. Zach Zanelli was our producer, and on camera, Scott Stessel. On camera, yes, we did the game audio only to start, but that game is currently airing right now, I think, the live stream, or 1 a.m. That game will be it'll be posted tomorrow morning, so if you want to rewatch the film that we have of that game, that'll be posted on the Region Sports Network. Again, that'll be on all of our socials. But yeah, we got plenty more games to go through. But yeah, obviously a lot of Game of the Year aspirations, but Crown Point, they continue to do their business. And like you said, Maryville, a lot of position uncertainty that this team is still they're gonna be good come playoffs time. It's not panic mode for Maryville. It is all, again, Crown Point, they're just a tough team. They're healthy. They got solidarity at those positions that matter the most. And again, they're just the cream of the crop right now.
Yes, they are. On to Griffith, where the Panthers hosted the Hammond Central Wolves, and Griffith wins this one 28-14.
Griffith 3-0. Are they back? That's what everyone keeps asking me every week. I know our boy Mike Zajac. He asked me when we were at Crown Point last week. They beat Munster. Griffith. He goes, "Are they back? Are they back?" And now Hammond Central, arguably their best. I'd say their best opponent up to this point. Hammond Central still a solid football team. They're on the come up. They're a team that's always trying to grow. And Griffith, they're still playing up. Hammond Central's a 5A school, although they're pretty young. Griffith, a 3A school, playing at home, and 28-7 coming back, although they were down 6-0 at one point. Griffith is playing very good football right now, our number 8th rated team in our home improvement top 10, and we only expect them to go up after this performance.
The number 3 Hanover Central Wildcats, they beat Highland 54-0.
It's not much more you could say about Hanover Central. Again, the NCC is when they really seem to perform well. A pretty nice, a good start against Highland, a team that's kind of on the rebuilding process. Or them and Munster kind of in that, it's two teams that are kind of looking to kind of build up and get back into the NCC limelight. We'll talk about, again, the other team later. But Hanover Central, again, once the lights get bright and conference play starts going on, they find a way to just perform. And again, being at home, that only makes them so much more stronger. But yeah, another dominating fashion for the Wildcats.
The Hobart Brickies, they pitch a shutout against the Munster Mustangs as they travel on the road and beat the Mustangs 38-0.
Munster, again, another team, as I mentioned, a team looking to rebuild, get back in the NCC limelight. Hobart getting the first win, a big win of the Eric Schreiber Jr. era. A big showing from their offense, a team that scored 9 points in the first 2 games. Granted, again, it was 2 Duneland teams they were up against in Chesterton and Maryville. Not easy for anybody to play, but a big-time win for Hobart, and that sets up a big game against KV next week for the Brickies.
On to Portage, the number 6 Portage Indians coming into this game, and they played host to the Lake Central Dreamcatchers, or the Lake Central Indians. I'm sorry, their logo's a Dreamcatcher. I'm not familiar with Blue Indians.
The Battle of the Indians.
But Lake Central. But for all of those jabs to Lake Central, they ended up coming away victorious in this game. Go figure. And they did in a close game, 23-21.
Yeah, definitely one. I definitely wanted to keep my eyes on a little bit more. A game going into it where I expected it to be close. Again, Pete Koulianos. First Duneland win for him in that program, big time win for them. Lake Central showing us a lot more as of late, but again, this was a year ago. Portage was probably not in this game, and they again still find ways to fight, and they impressed me a lot over there. They're not going to fall. Spoiler alert! I bet they're not going to fall too much in our rankings. But Lake Central, they're impressing us a lot as of late. Again, this is a match of evenly matched teams, and I think both teams could do some damage in the 6A, and it's going to be a fun section. Of course, you got the Big Bad Beast in Crown Point in it, but these are 2 solid teams in 6A that, again, trajectory is kind of growing up for these guys. Portage especially, but Lake Central, a big-time one going to Portage, taking care of business.
That is a big road win for the Lake Central Indians. On to Valparaiso and the Vale of Paradise. They come away with a victory as they play host to the LaPorte Slicers, and they win 42-7.
Valparaiso getting the job done. Again, a big-time bounce-back win. Although they won last week, Andrean took them to the limits, to say the least. Again, they required a 28-point outburst from the Valparaiso Vikings, playing a team that they're 3 classes bigger than. So this was something that, again, to see how they would respond. Again, LaPorte is also another program that is trying to kind of bounce back and get back in the limelight in their own respective conference, trying to get their first win of the season. But Valparaiso, a big-time bounce-back win as conference. They're going to be playing some tougher teams probably from here on out, but a big-time showing from Valparaiso. That was a game we did. Again, I want to give a special shout-out. Andrew Mild, Jay Simmons, Joey Heinrich, and Thalen Steiner. Those were our crewmates for tonight. Again, putting on a good show as always, and always a hospitable environment over there at Valparaiso High School.
Our next game was between West Lafayette and Lowell. Both teams named the Red Devils. If Zach Miller can hand me this sheet real quick here, I'll tell you what the score was. Not that one. This one right here. Yeah. So we had another score come in. That's why. And so Zach Miller, being so kind, has updated us with that score, and we'll get to that one in a second. But yeah, both Red Devils, West Lafayette playing host to the Lowell Red Devils, and West Lafayette wins 34-14.
West Lafayette, always a tough team. They always seem to, just be competitive, especially in that 3A level. That's a great early season test for Lowell, but it's not an easy one. Lowell, first 3 games on the road. I think they get back at home against Hanover Central. I want to say next week. That's going to be a tough. That's going to be a tough test for them. But Lowell, now 1-2 record, have a chance to maybe compete and play a good Hanover Central team as they'll start their conference play next week.
Speaking of conference play, a DAC action opened up this week. As we mentioned the other scores in the DAC, our next game was with the number 9 Chesterton Trojans as they hosted the Michigan City Wolves, and they got shut out at home. The Michigan City Wolves with a big second half, and they win this one 20-0.
Yeah, it's City, a team that was scrapping for their first win. It was a couple late losses that could have been very different, but this is a young City team, especially at the quarterback position. A Chesterton team as well, coming in at 9, 2 big wins, an offense that scored a couple points and was able to run on just about anybody. And then going into this game, Michigan City, that stout defense led by Adrian Holly, the Kansas commit, pitched a shutout. Big-time win for City as they get into Dune and play. Again, the overall records don't really matter once conference play starts. City's now 1-0, Chesterton 0-1. See how both teams respond from here on out.
Speaking of how teams respond, the preseason number 5 Morton Governors, they fell out of the RSN top 10, and it looks like they are free falling from the sky as they fall to the Tippecanoe Valley Vikings 35-23.
Again, it's with the small conference, it's tough to you got to schedule some non-conference opponents, especially in these weeks when the schools, again, the NCC's playing each other, the DAC's playing each other, the GSSC's starting to play each other, so you got to venture out, and you're going to have to travel a little bit, and that's what Morton had to do today. Tippecanoe Valley Vikings, and again, they got the best of them. Morton, all the talent in the world, it's just can they put it together? It's as simple as that. They haven't really proved it to us yet. A team obviously going into this year, high aspirations. A lot of guys, they got a couple commits playing at the next level, but that can only get you so far when you don't play team football. It's again, I want to look more into this game. I can only say so much, but an 0-3 start for Morton. Again, it's playing 2 DAC opponents and going down to Tippecanoe. It's not easy, and again, I still consider them the favorites in the small conference of 3. Now they host a team from Michigan next week. We'll see how that goes. That'll be nice to play a team from Michigan who has to do all that travel, but Morton, they got to try and impress us. They got all these guys, but and not much to show for it so far through 3 games of the season.
So on to River Forest, and this is the game that you were on the call for,
Yes,
Mike
sir.
DeWan. The Wheeler Bearcats, they beat the River Forest Ingots 24-6. So I want to ask you,
Let's do it.
this game. So River Forest is number 7 in the RSN top 10. I know that a lot of Wheeler fans kind of were thinking to themselves, like, wait a second, we're like Rodney Dangerfield. Where's our respect, right? We don't get any respect. So I want to ask you first, do you think Wheeler can make a push for the RSN top 10 after defeating the River Forest Ingots?
Yeah, I'd say so. Again, they were kind of a bubble team going into this because I know after an 0-2 start, a start that they'd kind of faced with those 2 tough non-conference opponents. They've had Hanover Central in week 1 where they lost by 20, and then a KV team who's pretty solid going into this year, and they lost by 14. I still thought, I know there's a lot of respect for this Wheeler team, and there should be, and they showed it here tonight. Again, a game, that featured 0 points in the first half, but a first half that was pretty controlled by Wheeler. River Forest had a pretty nice opening drive, but Wheeler kind of bounced back. The score could have been a whole lot different if Wheeler figured out how to capitalize on some touchdown, on some red zone opportunities. One of the big things with Wheeler that I was a little concerned with was ball security, especially from Caleb Klimzak, who played a fantastic game tonight. But going into this game, he had 4 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, and he had 2 early picks in the first half. And we were kind of wondering, okay, he's a gunslinger and he makes some aspirational throws and some great throws. Don't want to shy away from that, but there's some throws that he could wish he could have back. And then he played a second half, made some fantastic throws, and Wheeler's a very solid team. Again, that was really my first taste of GSSC football, seeing it and watching these guys, both teams that are very solid. River Forest, they're not going to go that far away. With that game against Westside is going to be a big indicator of who's going to be kind of the team to beat in that side of the GSSC. But Wheeler, seeing these guys play both ways, which River Forest did as well, but Wheeler's got some dogs over there. Jaden Ortiz was our superhero of the game. He was fantastic. He's the running back and linebacker. He was all over the field. Bryce Compton, he had one of the better punts of tonight. He also is a receiver. DB, he does it all. He made our first team all area last year. Tyne Vedicle's fantastic. He had a little bit of a quiet game to his standards. But yeah, this is a team that could definitely find their way back into the top 10. It could be this week.
Okay. And my next question, and the most important question, is you gave kind of a recap of how the game went and some standouts here and there. But what is the meat of the matter in this one, brought to you by Better Beef?
Meat of the matter, again, I think I hinted on it a little bit, and it's kind of just you're capitalizing on opportunities. So what happened, kind of the way this game came about, Wheeler, again, a great punt by Bryce Compton, really kind of set up everything, pinned them at the 5-yard line. Then an errant snap from River Forest center kind of forced a safety, 2-0 Wheeler. The ensuing possession, Wheeler got the ball, went down and scored. Defense did their job, went down and scored again. And Wheeler just played complimentary football, and eventually those red zone trips that they had in the first half where you kind of wear down that River Forest defense, especially a unit that it was a lot of young guys, but a lot of guys also playing both ways, like this Wheeler team. When you're on offense scoring points, you don't lose energy that quick. When you're on defense and you're giving up points, that's a different story. Then it's like, okay, I got to try and tackle Jaden Ortiz again, or I got to try and contain Caleb Klimzak, who again had a fantastic second half. I don't want to take away from his performance, mentioning his first half, 2 interceptions, but he did a better job of making quality throws, protecting the ball, just better quarterback play. And Aiden Silver, again, he's a fantastic player to watch for River Forest. He does a lot of it with his legs, but Wheeler had him pretty much bottled up all night at defense. It was just complimentary football, to say the least. And Wheeler, they were just a better team tonight. And they're a team to really look out for. A big-time win. They got Bishop Knoll next week, but that was a fun game. But, yes, that's definitely the meat of the matter. Definitely want to give a shout-out to our crew. I was there along with C.J. Compton, our color guy. He was awesome with me tonight. Clint Klaus, his first game on football with camera. He did a fantastic job as well. And then Nick Russ learning our software for the first time, did a great job. So got to give a big shout out to those guys as well as those at River Forest that let us come out and do what we do.
You look at you guys getting it done in the swamp.
That's what they call it? I know. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't want to call it that on the broadcast because everyone called it the snake. Chris kept calling it the snake pit, and Snake Nation is what they call it over there, the swamp.
Okay.
I guess those are unofficial terms. I guess they live by that. They call it Snake Nation.
All right.
Over there, the snake pit is what Chris calls it. So
that's cool.
But it was a fun environment.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun environment to say the least. I definitely want to do a couple more games over there at River.
That's sweet. So. Yeah,
the swamp. That's a good one, too. That's a good one, too.
And on to our next game, the Whiting Oilers. They traveled to Bishop Knoll to take on the Warriors, and they came away with a shutout victory, 36-0.
Yeah, spoiled that party over their first game at Bishop Knoll's new field, I believe. They had that new $10 million renovation to that athletic facility, and a fantastic turf field. Looks beautiful. But Whiting, that's a big-time rivalry, and it's a fun game to open up if you're Bishop Knoll. But Whiting, they took care of business. A team that had a tough loss to Highland last week, and Whiting was a kind of a bubble team going into that week before Highland, and then after suffering that loss, bounced back tremendously, getting ready for GSSC play after that big-time win. We'll see what they can do. They're kind of a team that could also compete in that Conference of 9 and also those divisions as well. So they got a long season ahead, and that's a big-time win for the Oilers.
And our last game, Lake Station, they lose to North Newton 21-13.
Yeah, start a non-conference game still for Lake Station. Tough loss, hoping to kind of right the ship, get things going, but credit to North Newton down there. The Spartans, tough travel going there at all for any team, but Lake Station, again, hoping to get back on track come GSSC play. I bet they start next week. So.
All right, so I'll run through the scores for you one last time, and we'll say our goodbyes on this region wrap-up show. So let's wrap up this wrap-up show, shall we? Number 10, Andrean 59ers, they come away victorious against the number 5 Kankakee Valley Cougars, 28-7. The Boone Grove Wolves lose to Westside, 8-6. The Calumet Warriors, they win 36-8 over the East Chicago Central Cardinals. The number 1 team in all of the land, the Crown Point Bulldogs, they took on the Maryville Pirates at Demery Stadium in Maryville, 1 versus 2, and number 1 won, 46-13. The Hammond Central Wolves, they lose as they travel on the road to the Griffith Panthers, the number 8 team in the RSN top 10. We'll see how that changes, if it changes. And then also the Highland Trojans, they travel to Hanover Central to take on the number 3 Hanover Central Wildcats, and they come away empty-handed as they lose 54-0. The Hobart Brickies, however, they go on the road to Munster, and they come away victorious 38-0. The Lake Central Indians beat the Portage Indians 23-21 at the Warpath in Portage. The Valparaiso Vikings, they come away victorious 42-7, and they may move. They are number 4 in the RSN top 10, so we shall see, but the Valparaiso Vikings getting the job done at home. The West Lafayette Red Devils, they defeated the Lowell Red Devils 34-14. So a 20-point victory there and a 20-point victory in Chesterton, but by the Michigan City Wolves, as Chesterton gets shut out at home, and they are in threat of losing their RSN top 10 status as they get shut out at home as the RSN number 9 team currently heading into this week. The Morton Governors, they lose by 12, 35-23 against the Tippecanoe Valley Vikings. The Wheeler Bearcats go on the road to River Forest, and they beat the number 7 River Forest Ingots 24-6. The Whiting Oilers pitch a shutout 36-0 at Bishop Knoll, and North Newton defends their home turf against Lake Station, and they defeat Lake Station 21-13. So those are our scores. We will remind you all that tomorrow the Bowman Academy Eagles play Phelan Academy. And so that game will be tomorrow. So we have one Saturday game there. But yeah, Mike DeWan, that's
crazy, man. We're officially, after this show, we are a third of the way done with the regular season and a fifth of the way done with the football season. Parting words for me, but time flies when you're having fun. And whether you're a player watching, you're a coach, you're a parent, I say this usually every other week, but cherish this because it flies by quick. It especially flies by for us, and we're always eternally grateful for letting us do what we do because we always like to be the only game in town, and we can't do it without you guys. So thank you all.
That's right. We can't do it with all of you folks for tuning into our broadcast and tuning in for this wrap-up show. So until we see you next time, I'm Mike Jamia. Alongside me, Mike DeWan. You're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
When life takes you places and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strack and Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use, and it can save you time and money. Once your order is in, our own Strack and Van Til team preps your order with care. For delivery or pickup, enjoy the convenience of letting our to-go team shop for you. Enjoy your special moments. Sign up online today at shop.strackandvantil.com.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. For years, I've helped your family and friends save on their car insurance. And now I've returned to rescue you from high prices. Whether you have a perfect driving record or a not-so-perfect record. Follow me to the Crowell Agency for immediate and affordable coverage. I'm your insurance superhero. Crowell Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
We love home internet from T-Mobile. Now Mesh boosts Wi-Fi all over your home. Taking a class in your attic, that dead spot is gone. Stream ballet in your man cave, learn to paint on your lawn.
It's glorious.
And now on the road you can take T-Mobile Wi-Fi with you. Hey, stay connected and watch what you'll do.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Can't wait for summer, but dreading the heat because your old AC let you down? Don't sweat it out this summer. Call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. The professionals there can fix you up. Install a central air unit that'll last for years. Your family deserves to stay comfortable. And with a 24/7 emergency service, comfort is just a phone call away. Give them a call at 219-923-4441 or check them out on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com.
Save for a healthy tomorrow with an HSA checking account from Tech Credit Union. It's a tax-advantaged way to save and pay for healthcare expenses. You'll enjoy no setup fee, no annual fee, and easy access to funds. Plus, you'll earn a better-than-competitive dividend rate, currently at 2.27% APY. Visit techcu.org, contact any branch, or call 800-276-8324 to learn more. Tech Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA. Rates may change without notice. Have you checked out Centier Bank's student checking account? This no-fee checking account is perfect for students and teens ages 14 to 24 and comes with all the features you need to succeed, such as a debit card, digital banking, and automatic deposit. Centier Bank can help you start establishing good spending habits today for your better tomorrow. For more information, visit Centier.com/student-checking or visit your local branch. If you are under the age of 18, your parent or guardian must also sign on the Centier student checking account. At the age of 25, your account will automatically convert to the Centier checking account. You must deposit $25 to open this account. This account is not eligible for overdraft advantage. Member FDIC.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I've received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso is a leader in athletics apparel and equipment sales. With in-house production including screen printing, trophies, embroidery, and more, Blythe's can help you to create the perfect look. For more information, visit them online at teamblythes.com. Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso, where the athletes shop.
Better Beef of Indiana. Hormone-free, locally raised, and locally processed beef. Better Beef of Indiana is located in Valpo at 2600 Beach Street, where you could buy individual cuts of beef completely raised in Hebron. From single pounds of ground beef to filet mignon, Better Beef of Indiana has it all. Visit their website at betterbeefindiana.com. Follow them on Facebook or call the owner, Kevin, directly at 219-508-5797. Better Beef of Indiana, where quality meets value.